Shortly after dawn, a first glimpse of Grevy's zebras. The presence of Jane Litole and her troop doesn't seem to bother the animals who are normally shy. Here in the Samburu region of central Kenya, the so-called women scouts are on patrol to determine how far the zebras range. The organization Grevy's Zebra Trust has trained more than 20 young women to monitor the world's most threatened zebra species. When I leave home, I fill out a data sheet to show where my patrol is starting. Then, every 30 minutes, I fill in the GPS data to show where I am and if I've seen zebras. At the end of the day, the organization uses that data to track the routes where I have patrolled. 40 years ago, there were 15,000 Grevy's zebras in Kenya alone. Now there are fewer than 3,000. They live in one of the driest parts of the country. The zebras can survive for up to 5 days without water, so they flourished in these conditions where there was no competition from other animals. But now, humans have begun to settle here, and their herd animals are eating the grass.
Things have changed from nomadism, where communities used to migrate from one place to another, giving the land a fallow period for it to recover, to where we've made communities more sedentary.
The pastoral communities rely mainly on goats and cows. Due to the presence of the nearby river, humans and animals are increasingly occupying the same areas, and food is growing scarcer. Longer dry periods caused by global warming are destroying more and more pasture land, increasing the pressure on the zebras and their ecosystem. For years, Peter Lalampa has been working with local cattle farmers. He believes they can coexist peacefully with the zebras.
They are able to safeguard some areas as dry season grazing reserves. Those areas they safeguard as dry season grazing areas are areas that are utilized by species such as Grevy zebra to have pasture. And so it's a way of rationing pasture. It's a way of making sure that there's coexistence between livestock and wildlife.
Eroded areas are being replanted to benefit all parties. The women in the communities play a key role in this. Their influence can ensure that the next generation will continue to value that coexistence. Herd animals loosen the soil on the arid pasture lands. Then, semicircular embankments are constructed around areas where grass could start growing again. They capture the little available rainwater and direct it onto the fields. The Samburu women tear out invasive acacia trees to use for firewood. Grass and other plants grow in their place. This way, 600 hectares of pasture land are reclaimed each year.
The areas that we started with, we've seen amazing response where perennial grasses that have disappeared over years have come back. That's just an indication that this method is working.
Traditions are important to the Samburu people. At the region's only river, the women give ritual thanks for the water and pastures in an Intorosi ceremony. Central to the Intorosi ceremony is the message of respect it carries. It also communicates to the rest of the community the importance of our conservation work and planned grazing. The scouts say their efforts have led to greater acceptance of the zebras, and that has benefits for all. We control the movement of livestock, and they can eat together with the zebras, so the zebras don't wander off in search of pasture. This attracts tourists to the region. Tourism creates jobs and bursaries for our children. Future generations of local people, provided with education and training, could build up a nature reserve where the Grevy's zebra population could recover and thrive.